Joining us from a very, very hot Plough Lane after Wimbledon threw away a 2-0 lead. It does feel like a loss. Coming in from a 92nd minute header to draw 2-2 to Doncaster Rovers. Pretty much a carbon copy of the last time Doncaster Rovers came to us, just a change of league. Matt, go on, what's your initial view after that?
I think the ref did his very best to try and ruin the game, but just going 2-0 up that late in the game, got to see it out. Game management just wasn't there, and they brought the big guys on and just started throwing the ball forward and played off of it. And yeah, I'm seething. I'm absolutely seething. I do not know how we've not seen that out.
It seems to be a bit of a trend with everyone saying the youth and inexperience, but we seem to keep getting to those late stages of games and struggling. Doncaster took it last week to Sutton and scored 2 late on. I think that's something we should be aware of. George, where do you think it went wrong in that last phase of play?
I think it was the same as we let them have a very soft first goal, which was almost car crash defending. Their second goal was set piece, which I didn't like how we set up. I would have liked to have kept a man up. I know we'll come on to that later, but I think it was just we fell apart in the last 10 minutes again. And the ref didn't help us at all with his ability to manage the game, both when it was 0-0 and when we were winning. But I think, we just fell asleep. It felt like last season, to be honest, with our defending, that spirit and that steel that we saw when we played Gillingham. Because when we had a 2-goal lead against Gillingham, we didn't look like we'd thrown the game away. Today, the second it went 2-1, there was no one in the ground doubted what was going to happen next.
Seemed to really struggle. And you mentioned last season, Rob, to my right, you've not seen us win yet since Accrington. How close do you think we were when we were 2-up?
I've not seen us win this year, at Plough Lane. So, and the one game we did win against Gillingham, I wasn't there. So maybe I should stop coming to games. Maybe that should be the conclusion. But I thought that was going to be it today. When we went 2-0 up late on, I thought we'd just see the game out, game management, and they scored a bit of a worldie of a goal, but we just panicked. We just didn't clear our lines. And then after that, I think everyone had deja vu with Doncaster, and we've been in this position many times, like this year. And I felt like that mindset started creeping in. To be fair, they did just look bigger and stronger from set pieces, so when they did get corners every single time, I was a bit concerned, a bit wide. They had a lot of big lumps, And yeah, I haven't seen the goal back, and I don't know if I want to see the goal back. Just seeing like 3 out of the back post. Frustrating.
Comment there from Paul Russell. That was sickening and sadly predictable, and I couldn't agree more. How do we get out of this mindset? I personally don't know. I think if I did, I might get a gig on the backroom staff, but it does seem to be a real trend for us. But just you mentioned that physicality of Doncaster today. There's a lot of fouls that the ref didn't pull back. I thought Davison did very well up front, making space for him to control the ball. Asal terrorising people as always, and he created that second goal for Nathan Young-Coombs. And on the topic of NYC, Matt, how good was seeing him properly now for the first time? I think against Hartlepool away, I don't think he got into the game as much, but this afternoon was a real shame.
He was, and you can see why he's very much the fox in the box. The movement for the second, he seemed to know that Asal was going to cross it before Asal did, and then just literally got straight on it. It was a brilliant finish for the second goal. I still don't understand the disallowed goal. I think the ref, did he give handball?
He's given handball.
He seemed to give the goal, and then their keeper said something, and suddenly he gave handball.
No, I think he disallowed it straight away, to be fair. Well, that's what it looked like from where I was, but...
I was close celebrating. I was not looking at the pitch.
You know what? I felt sorry for Davison today because he scored that goal which got disallowed, and then I think the first one he deserved it. He done all the work, didn't he? Yeah. Didn't quite go over I don't know if it went over the line. I don't know if Nathan Young-Coombs was on there to make sure it did. But I felt a bit sorry for him because he deserved a goal. His work rate was phenomenal. He led the line well. Yeah. Would have been nice for him and NYC to both get a goal each today. But I think both will be credited to Nathan Young-Coombs.
Sean Barry there, NYC, my start, only striker we have. I think he's definitely now in debate for starting games, whether he might have been a bit match fitness lacking, before coming from academy football and stepping up into that league game, I don't know, but him and Davison up front could be a good start, and then bring Asal onto the bench, or personally I'd like to see Asal pushed a little bit further out wide so he can cut in and terrorise people, as he does so well.
When Nathan Coombs came on, Chislett of course went off, and then Asal sat in behind, in the sort of number 10 role. But he'd been terrorising them before that. The flicks and stuff he was doing, he was making space. But the problem is, he's still got to learn when to pass, and sometimes he just seems to overdo it a little bit. But he's got all the skill in the world. And the problem is, if he starts doing that and starts scoring goals, he won't be here for very long.
He's the problem. He's so good at drawing fouls, and I'd love to know the stats on the amount of bookings he's got opposition players. But like you said, sometimes when he has 2-3 players around him, he's got to get his head up and release it quicker. There's so many times I look around on that pitch, and it's easy for us sitting up here in the stands. I'm sure when you're down on the playing field actually playing the game, it's a lot harder. But there's so many times with Davison, young Coombs are free, screaming for the ball. But
Coombs, especially today, there were so many runs he was making. I think it was just the case because that was head down. Maybe could have.
I saw today with young Coombs why he scored 35 goals last season. I didn't quite see it before today. In his cameo role and in the League Cup, but today I really saw why he was Brentford B team 30 years, scored so many goals. He's really sniffs out the chances, and he doesn't look like he needs many chances to put the ball in the back of the net.
There's a serious tenacity about him up top and kind of hassling defenders. Topic of Brentford B, obviously Paris Maghoma. What a player. Wow. I think NYC's kind of overshadowed him with the 2 goals, but there was one he did an inch perfect pass to Curry to them first time into Davison. Maghoma just dominated in the field, George. What did you make of him today?
Paris was brilliant today, and I mean, we said it after the first game when we did the pre-season game. He's too good for League Two, and he showed that again today. He had a couple of good passes to Jackie Curry. He had the pass which was maybe a bit overhit that Davison tried to run onto, and he had a very, very good game. He's just perfect for collecting the ball from the centre backs, turning, creating a couple of yards, and then finding a good creative pass. And he's got the physicality to deal with League football. So I think he's someone who's going to be a big player for us. And NYC today was immense, and like you guys have said, it's easy to see why he's a 20-goal striker. And we've had people commenting on the show where our 20-goal season striker is. I think we've seen today where he is.
And with
Big
Paris,
pressure to put on him.
that is big pressure. I'm going to take some of the celebrations.
He's only a kid,
George.
George is younger than you.
Paris and NYC, they've got that connection already. You can see they're making runs that are clearly something they've done before playing for Brentford B. Is that something that you think once Asal clicks with it, Davison kind of understands how those players operate? How important is it going to be for us?
They're still learning. But Paris said it in his interview about Nathan Young-Coombs. He said, he'll be there and he'll score, and that was exactly the 2 goals. He didn't even know he was there, but then he popped up and the ball's in the back of the net. That is exactly what you need. You need that. I don't think we've necessarily had the fox in the box since John May. I don't think we've had that type of player that just, if you get the ball at him anywhere within the box, and he'll just put it in the back of the net. Even
for the first goal with Davison, when he headed it, he just appeared out of nowhere. He was on the scene, wasn't he? Straight away, and then put it over the line for us. So, yeah, it's really exciting with NYC. I mean, I said on Tuesday that having Paris and Curry is like having 2 cheat codes in the team. It feels like we might have 3 with NYC as well. It's like playing an ultimate team, but then loaning like legend players for a few games. Like Curry, Maghoma. They're too good for League Two, and NYC might be another one. He looks like a real prospect. I'm excited by what he can bring.
Curry won't be here for long with it. I think early doors when he cut inside and took on 3 players and got past them, and then if I was in the division, I think I would have had a striker goal, but he played it off to, I think it was Davison or Marsh who fired at the keeper. But Jack Curry, you see him, he's so far out wide, and there are sometimes the ball was played to him, like, oh, there he is. Yeah. You didn't even see he was there, and then he can attack in such a good position. And that kind of positional awareness from him at such a young age. And I myself, I was thinking, how is he going to step up from playing on loan at Eastbourne to playing league football? And he's taken it in his stride quite some way. And then I think we've got the scores from around the rest of League Two there. Bradford, unsurprisingly, beating Newport 2-0. Stevenage scoring in the 90 plus 10 to take it 1-0 at Walsall. Other games there that kind of stick out. Northampton 2-1 Hartlepool, Tranmere beating Gills 3-0. Gillingham, not a team that I think would be rolled over easily.
Salford Crew as well.
I don't know.
Salford 3-0.
Wow. I think we were all expecting Salford to be there or thereabouts in the top of the table this year. So Tranmere Gills is the one that sticks out for me. And also, on a day of a train strike in the second highest study is Sutton Barrow. That can't have been fun.
Not to travel. No.
Not for Barrow.
Not for Barrow. Sutton has been a nice afternoon now, but
Harwood Crawley 0-0. Crawley have signed some Dom Telford, and you think he'd be banging in goals at this level, considering he did not struggle last year in League Two, and still 0-0. I'll be honest, I'm not sure he's playing that game yet.
You know what I'm concerned by though? They haven't scored today. They've lost their 2 opening games. And we go to them next week. Like, you know, he's like, oh, if they start getting a run of form, if they start putting a run of form together, can they just delay it by another week or two? Like, you know.
also Mansfield, who we've got Tuesday losing without scoring as well.
Yep, and Hart can get subbed off for them as well, quite early on.
Where did you get that stat? Where did you
I
get that
just
from?
thought I'd see how Tom's old mate is getting along. You know, I thought I'd see how Tom's old mate's getting along.
Great player.
So yeah, there's a fun fact for you.
There you go, Rob Boyce's fun fact of the
There we go.
episode.
So where's that place? It's 8th now.
Yeah, we were 4th at one point, and obviously that late goal has now unfortunately dropped us down. Do you know what? Going into the season, I was quite negative, thinking we're going to be around mid-table, down the bottom half of the table. 8th with 3 games in. I'm not unhappy. I think that it's a solid place to build from. You know, George, what was your kind of? Where's your estimation now for us? Where do you think we should be in the table? Do you think we should have won all 3 of our games, or is it fair?
Well, I think you look at the league games, we've been the better team in all 3 of our league games by quite some distance.
Hartlepool disagree.
I don't know.
we were pretty sure.
I think we were the better team. We had more chances. We created a lot more chances than they
A
did.
lot more chances, George.
Well, a few chances more, but more chances.
I mean, they had the one where Nick Zenith saved it on the line. They hit the bar. They had the better chances. I
But
don't recall us really doing much again.
Okay, so on topic of Nick Zanev, I say something. I think he's been very good this season for us.
Nick's had a very good game.
The first goal today, no one's saving that. The second goal, I think it was just an amount of pressure that put up to him.
One thing I'd say about Doncaster is even though they're not in the ninth in the league, they are going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. Like, they're a big, strong physical team. George alluded to it. It's like playing against Wickham. You know, their game management, they buy fouls. You know, they've got some good players, so they're going to be up there, I think, coming in the season. So, you know, the fact that we've taken the game to them, we should have probably seen the game out. Got 3 points today. It puts us in good stead. I saw enough on Tuesday night's game in the cup game. You know, we played well. Hartlepool ground out a point which normally last season I think we would have gone there and lost, in my opinion. And yeah, we just got to just keep picking up points. We've got 5 points from the 3 league games. Let's just keep picking up points and
keep going, kind of consolidate this season.
Yeah.
And for all those watching on YouTube, make sure you get your comments in for us to discuss here on the panel. There you go. Speak of it, we've got one there. NYC looked aggressive. He has to keep playing him. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. I think for me, he starts next week if he's fit enough to go out 90 minutes or 75 minutes. I think he will be that front line. I think he can play striker.
Who drops out though? Chislett.
And then you drop IUP.
I always feel sorry for Chislett though. He's always one who drops out.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever done anything wrong. To be dropped, but he's the first name to be dropped. I think he's been good this season, and I think he was good in his cameos last year for us as well.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, but you've got to keep Ayub in, and the way to do that is to drop Ayub a bit deeper as a
saying how
10.
you come off the bench, I think, give him those. Maybe give him half hour end of the game.
We don't know NYC's fitness. We don't know how much of a pre-season he had. It might just be that he makes the substitute appearances for the moment. JJ's stuck with the same team, so I assume when we set up on Tuesday, it will be the same again.
I think we'll change on Tuesday because we got Saturday, Tuesday. I think there'll be a few rotations. To freshen it up. I mean, Jack Harry's now played basically 4 games of 90 minutes in a row. We need him, but yeah, some of the players are going to need a bit of rotation, I think.
Sat there from Adam Hillman, 4 goals in the last 2 games in the 85th minute. After the 85th minute.
For Doncaster.
Yeah.
Because they scored 2.
And for us.
On Tuesday against Shields, they scored in 88 and then 92. It does go on to that, what we touched on, feeling like last year and an inability to see games out, which is really disappointing because, like I said earlier, the Gilles League game here, we looked really solid and we never looked like we were a threat of throwing that game away. Then obviously we threw away a bit on Tuesday in the League Cup and again today. It's just concerning because it's something that if we don't fix, I mean, last year we dropped, was it 40 points from winning positions? Yeah. We can't do that this year if we want to be anywhere near mid-table.
I think an issue is as well, is you look at that subs bench and nothing really inspires me from the bench apart from NYC.
No, I was saying before we won pretty much. I think we need 3 or 4 signings. I mean, it looks like Luke McCormack's going to be off, so we need another attacking midfielder. I think we need 2 wing backs, and personally, I think we need another centre midfielder as well.
Yeah, I think we need cover if Gunter gets injured.
I mean, the fact that it's scorching hot today and we've only made 2 substitutions, let's be honest, we only brought Paul Cannaby late on just to try to defend corners because he's a big lump. But we need options off the bench to be able to freshen it up, and we had 5 or 6 academy lads on the bench today who, Isaac Odegeddie, is that how you pronounce it? He's academy player, learning his trade. He probably needs a loan, to be honest with you. He's not going to come on and change the game, is he?
Alfie Bendel as well,
I think. I want to keep Alfie in the squad this season. I don't want to send him out on loan, but I'm surprised he didn't get minutes in the cup game on Tuesday night, to be honest with you. And I was saying to Stu as well, I would have maybe liked him to come on for a Sal, late on, just to put another body into centre midfield, because he puts himself about, doesn't he? He wins tackles.
Just for his age, I think he does need just a loan just to develop.
Maybe even a 6-month loan till January.
Yeah, that's not a full season, but I think in the team we have currently, we can't be losing a position just to develop someone and give them that time. I think every player on that pitch has to be ready for that 100% and be League 2 quality for us this year. NYC will be gone by Christmas. Josh worked his socks off, and I should have played him in twice, but went for glory.
Can I just say, I don't think NYC or Magahoma will be off in January. I was speaking to Stu about this, and Brentford B are very good at keeping their B team players out on loan for the whole season. They don't tend to recall their loans, and also if you look at it, they've never recalled any of their loans they've sent to us. In the past, we've got a good working relationship with them. I think they'll want NYC and Magahoma to do well and have a whole season with us. And then they'll probably loan them to a Championship or League 1 side next season, depending on where they're at in their development.
My only worry is if a League 1 club goes to Brentford B, I will take them on and we'll give them those minutes.
I don't think it'll happen.
No,
I don't think it'll happen. Brentford B, once they send their player out on loan, they tend to keep them there for the whole season.
I'm hoping he stays here.
Past the end of next
season. Also, Brentford B care a lot about the development programme, so if their players are succeeding here, they're not going to want to recall players early and then risk us not taking loans from them. So I think they're here for this year, and then if they do well, then they'll send us another 2 next year. And that's really important because, let's be honest, NYC and Magoma certainly will be playing Championship football next season. NYC will be playing top League 1, maybe Championship.
I think Magoma might be in the Brentford team next season.
He'll be top Championship at the minimum because he's. You
just see one of those what you describe as a Rolls Royce of a midfielder.
Yeah.
He just seemed steady. There was a bit in the first half where he went round Tomlin like he wasn't there, and he had a little kick out of him, and then Tomlin actually injured himself in trying to kick out him. But I spent the first half screaming. The way we go back into our shape, and we're very good at doing it, but the problem is we invite the team on. And Doncaster were changing their shape to accommodate getting Tomlin on the ball, and no one was going to. They were just giving him the time and space. On another day, he'll play a brilliant pass through, and was it his free kick that hit the bar or hit the post? Or did Tans get his hand to it?
Yeah.
I think it's hard to press in this heat though. I think that is a big factor we're probably not taking into account maybe.
But necessarily wasn't the press, it was when we set back in the shape, it was how far we let them come on
before
we just tried to narrow everything down, and that was the way we tried to back, and it worked to that extent. But then when we tried to change shape and bring Callum Bay off, I didn't know whether we'd gone into a 3 or a 4.
We went into a back 5.
And we almost invited more pressure on. And if you invite more pressure on, sometimes it doesn't go your way, and it really, really didn't go our way this time.
We've got the next 5 games there on the screen. Mansfield away on Tuesday, 2 away games in a row actually. Crawley Town away on Saturday. Barrow come to Plough Lane on 27th of August. Aston Villa 21s come here on the 30th of August, and then we're away to Stockport up in Manchester. Looking at those 5 games, okay, we'll take the league one out. I'll take the cup one out of it. The 4 league games. How many points do you expect, and how many do you think you get?
Well, to be honest with you, I always look at it from a mentality of let's just try to pick up a draw in our away games or win our home games. So if you look at it from that point of view, you'd say 6 points. But I actually think Mansfield and Crawley, we can get more than a point at both them places. So next 4 league games, I think we can pick up between 7 and 9 points personally. I don't think we're going to win all 4. It's a tough league. That's a big ask. I can't remember last time we've won 4 in a row. So yeah, I think we'll pick somewhere between 7 and 9 points from the next 4 games personally.
George, for that game there, which one for you? I mean, I know you've got quite good youth team knowledge. So Villa 21s, is that a game we can take to them, or is that going to be? Are they going to be strong?
They'll be strong, but it's one of those of the Papa John's Trophy. It all depends on what we're using it for. If we're going to go full strength, we'll win. We should be winning that game quite comfortably. But if we rotate, then we should be competitive. But it depends how heavily we rotate in that. For the league, I think 7 points from those 4 league games is the bare minimum of what you're wanting. But my concern is you go there, Crawley are on a bad run, so they're going to be able to prove a point. They'll be building that as a big rivalry game because they haven't moved on from us before. Mansfield is going to be the same game as what we saw today. They're going to be a typical Northern team, you know. And then
Northern.
Yeah, I think that's a fair. I think it's a fair assessment to describe what we saw from them today. And then Stockport, obviously, they're on a high still. So it's,
Northern team.
Yeah, but they try and play football to be fair. But I think it's going to be 3 tough away games there. So I think 6 points I'd be happy with. 7 points would be really good.
Go on, Matt. You know, what position would you want us to be in? Would you want us to kind of maybe lose the first one and get a run going, or do you want kind of away games, home games? What is the thing?
I want to win every game, every single game. I just go for the win in every single one. Away, yeah, I suppose you take, but again, I wouldn't like that for an away draw. If you go 2-0 up, you need to stay. But we've got to be looking to pick up maximum points everywhere. It's just what is going to happen between now and the end of the transfer window is what I want to see, because we are lacking in a bit of depth.
Quality from the bench.
Just leading on from what you're saying about Matt, you look at it as you want to win every single game, and then looking at William Haynes' comment here saying about there's a lot of hyperbole on Twitter, people are a bit upset for only got 5 points. Do we need to manage expectations a bit? You know,
yes.
we've just got relegated. We're in a big stadium, but people are probably thinking, we should just bounce back at the first attempt. But it's a difficult league. You know, we saw Portsmouth come down to League Two, and they didn't get straight back out of League Two. You know, they spent money. They're a big team in League Two. They didn't just go up at the first attempt. Are people just, on Twitter and that is, I'm sort of trying to write it in a good way, but do people just need to manage expectations a little bit with 5 points?
You're right, they do, and it even happened here. In about the 30th minute of the first half, we were passing it around at the back, and people were I could hear people getting agitated, throw the ball and asking to throw the ball forward. And the problem is we did, and it got thrown forward, and we lost possession straight away. We are playing a possession-based football. It's going to be played along the back line. They are going to look backwards if there is no clear run forwards. It's just going to happen. People need to get used to the different style of play. It looks like we're playing much more on the counter-attack, and we've got the speed to do it, and we've shown that in abundance. We just need to stick with it, stick with the game plan, and then try and learn to manage a game.
I think you mentioned that expectations. People said when we came down, we're going to have the best budget in League Two. We're going to go straight back up again. Where was that ever realistically going to happen? No. I think we were going to struggle because over the last probably couple of seasons we've played nicer football than we have done in the past. League Two is a very physical league, and you need like a bruiser, like a Woodyard, who's going to go and can kick someone, and kind of stamp their authority on the game. And Doncaster did that today. We play nice football. Johnny Jackson Scott's playing good football, and I think once we can kind of get over the physicality aspect that we might be losing in, we'll start playing good football and stringing those together. Topic of physicality, at the end there was a bit of handbags, wasn't there, where all the players came together. I hadn't noticed until someone pointed it out to me, but someone was down on the floor. Apparently Lee Brown got sent off. I don't know if that's true or not. It was just murmurs, but
I didn't see a card.
No, I didn't see a card.
Basically, Marsh voided the ball and voided it straight into his midriff from about 5 yards.
So if you didn't hear that, Marsh apparently volleyed the ball into someone's midriff, and that was the guy that went down like he'd been shot. And then there was a big melee afterwards, but it was all a bit handbags, to be honest, and calmed down very, very quickly.
You know what? I don't want to be happy-clappy. I don't want to sound like George Jones said, but we picked up 4 points in our opening 2 games. 0-0, 2 clean sheets, 0-0 away from the Hartlepool wasn't the right result. For 85 minutes, we had 3 points in the bag today. Everyone would have went home happy. I know we've thrown the game away, but again, we have picked up points today. We haven't lost. So basically, what I'm trying to say is the invincible season's still on.
It is.
but not if you're here.
I've just checked Sky. I didn't see a card come out for what happened afterwards,
I don't know if it's true.
and Sky haven't reported any cards, so I'm assuming there was no cards for afterwards. And we've got away with whatever Marshy did.
Or if we lose,
it wasn't good.
for example, if it was Lee Brown, if we lost the left wing back or left centre back, that back line is severely reduced because I like PK in a back three, but I don't think him and Will work together very well.
Can we loan Shocker for a game?
Oh, bring him back! Come on, boy. The Chocolate fan club can be reborn. I sure think it's squad depth. I do think we need probably a centre back as well, just to give cover. And I mean, Jack Curry, if he gets injured, we've got nothing.
We rely on youth again. We'll go back to there's no issue with that, but you want to be bringing those players in slowly. You do not want to be throwing them straight in at the deep end.
Here you go, playing Stockport away, you've got to play 90 minutes.
Exactly.
You've got nothing else.
That's just
it's not going to be ideal.
Baptism of fire.
Exactly.
What are you saying?
I was just going to say on that it's. I do think we need a left-footed centre half to come in to give us that cover for Brown. But also, I think we need a wing back who can come in and play both sides. So whether that's Paul Loss who coming back, whatever it is, we need someone who
coming back will be good for us because he can play both sides. Yeah. People argue about whether he was good enough. I personally really liked him. I thought he had a bit of pace, a bit of going forward. I've seen him take some players on, get past them. I think I'd like to see him back because he gives cover for us at left wing back and right wing back.
Quick question for George: if we sign a wing back or two, does Chris Gunter not cover left centre back when we sit on Tuesday night? Would we not just use him there?
When you're playing a back three with the full back with the outside centre half having the attacking responsibilities, that left sider has to be a lefty in my opinion. That's just the way I like to see that shape play. Gunter, I do think if we sign a good right wing back who could start, I'd like to see Gunter coming in and playing on the right of that three occasionally. I don't like him on the left. I just think he has to have a lefty on the left of the three.
Fair enough.
On that, we go to Mansfield on Tuesday. We will see you for Barrow at home in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us in this post-match show. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, George. Have a lovely evening, and thank you for watching.